We are fan casting the Golden Girls, but based on the ages that they were when the show started. This is Talk Punch. Thank you so much to both our audio podcast listeners, our YouTube viewers for joining us. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan.
Hey.
And the Rick Blaine of this Casablanca trio, Charlie Hickman.
Wait, here's looking at you, kid.
Yeah.
And if you like what you hear and you want more of us, we do have a Patreon where you can get exclusive content on topics that you will not see on this channel. You can find more information about that in the description below. And if you haven't already, we'd love it if you subscribed and hit that notification bell so you can come back every Wednesday to hang out with us, have some fun, because we don't often talk Golden Girls, but we're talking Golden Girls today. But we do talk movies, we do talk TV shows, and Golden Girls are very popular. So
very popular.
We haven't done a fan casting in a while, for reasons.
And so, hey, the people have been clamoring for a Golden Girls episode for a long time. Happy to finally deliver.
Yes.
We're hoping to get less backlash on the Golden Girls recasting.
I wouldn't count on it. People are they have their favorites in their heart. They know who the right answers are. And let me just tell you, the right answers are my list. I have a great list. I'm so excited for this. I'm way more excited for this episode than I should be, than I have any right to be. But man, I'm ready to go.
Nice. Golden Girls is definitely a controversial topic.
Well, yeah, and so what's interesting is that we are taking actresses that are the same age and I think it's going to be interesting looking at how these actresses are at the ages compared to how.
Yeah, it's really funny when you watch a lot of things back in like the 70s and the 80s. People look surprisingly old. Like they have teenagers, and I'm like, are they 40? And you see the Golden Girls back then, and like they look like they're in their twilight years and all that kind of thing. It's really funny. A lot of the people who are on my list, at least, and I'm sure they're on your guys' too, that they don't, even though they're the same age, they certainly don't look that as old as they did back in the day. I don't understand.
Yeah, George Costanza was he was like 29, 30 years old when Seinfeld started.
Was he really?
Wow.
Yeah. it's today's 29, 30. It's a different 29, 30 than it used to be. It's all right.
It's true.
All right. Well,
no filters here. No filters here. We're just let it au natural.
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately. All right, so we are going to start out. It's going to go me and Dylan and Charlie, and we're starting out with Blanche, who was 51 years old when this show started. 51 is only 10 years older than me. And this gal was on Golden Girls at 51. So, all right, so my Blanche. Now, Blanche is like the flirty one, still likes to go out on a lot of dates, still very active with her love life. And I wanted to pick somebody who I thought could do that, but I also kind of wanted to throw a shock thing in there of somebody who's 51 that people are going to be like, there's no way. But she is 51. And that's Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh, wow.
From American
right.
Pie.
Yeah.
51 years old, same age as the woman you just saw on the previous slide.
Rue McClanahan. Come on now, let's show her some respect, Brody.
I don't know.
This isn't a current picture, though, bro. This isn't a current picture. In fact,
this is only this
is from about 10 years ago. She actually looks like Rue McClanahan nowadays.
Yeah, this is only a couple years old. This is not that old. I had to check because I was like, is this picture like 20 years old? No.
Yeah, I had to do that too. I was like, it can't be. It can't be.
So like I said, I think that this was just kind of my one of like, I cannot believe that she's 51. I'm picking her because I think she would be kind of a fun one with the rest of my gals, in kind of still being really active in dating thing and still having lots of guys. And I thought Shannon.
Nice.
Also, I just couldn't believe. I couldn't believe that she's 51. All right.
That's true.
Tudong, who is your Blanche?
My Blanche is Gabrielle Union. You're not going to be able to see the name as clearly as before. I tried to pick as current a picture as possible, and I gotta say, I actually really enjoy Gabrielle Union. I've always thought that she should be in more things, and starring in more things, and having a bit more, you know, anytime she's in something, she just makes it better. And I think she would be a fantastic Blanche. I'd like to see her kind of cut loose with that kind of a character. She's from Omaha, Nebraska, which, as far as I'm concerned, could be from the South. I have no idea. But she's playing a Southern belle, and she's amorous compared to the others. Although at 51, I don't know why she wouldn't be. But I'd like to see her tackle a role like this. Just like a silly Southern belle role, and she's not that old. Like, it's funny. I look at this and I'm like, that's Blanche. That's Blanche. They're just the same age. Just like with Shannon Elizabeth. I'm like, I can't believe it. That's my Blanche.
Why she doesn't look
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Omaha, Nebraska, at least as of the last time I visited relatives there, they told me that it was the telemarketer capital of the world because they have no accents. So it's like one of the, or at least the telemarketing capital of the U.S. because they can call to all different states, and it's just they just sound normal. Hello, I'm a telemarketer. Omaha, Nebraska. See, we're learning and it's fun. All right, so my Blanche, I wanted a Southern belle who could play up the sexualized angles of Blanche. By the way, when I was a kid, I got many episodes of the Golden Girls, and most of the innuendos went far above my head. This was a jarring show to go back and watch, like with a little bit of wisdom and age in. My goodness, it was like the sex jokes were flying. I was like, oh my gosh, I watched this too young. So you go and pull up my slide. My Blanche is Kristen Wiig. We're bringing out the comedy chops here. She's currently playing a Southern. I shouldn't say Southern belle because it's not really a belle, but in like the Southern accent, at least in her new TV show Palm Royale on Apple TV, and of course she's had some other accent work as a young Lucille Bluth, among many other things. On SNL. But she has like that kind of debonair, she can pull that off, and she's got great comedy chops. And look, I need this is a big flagship comedy television program that I'm planning here. So I had to bring out a few big guns from the world of comedy. So Kristen Wiig is going to be my Blanche. Oh yeah, bro. You just wait. The big names are going to be flying.
Nice.
Kristen Wiig, famously from the Joe Schmo Show. First things where she played Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I had no idea. I just thought it was some obscure SNL skit that you were referencing when you said Dr. Pat, and I was just letting it go. I had no Dr. Pat.
Before she was on SNL, she was on the Joe Schmo Show. One of my favorite shows of all time.
All right. You can't argue with that. I literally cannot argue
with Joe Schmo when I can. Nobody else wants to talk about the Joe Schmo Show. It's just me.
Well, all of my picks are Joe Schmo cast members, so you're gonna have plenty of opportunity.
All right.
51.
Moving on to Sophia. Now, this is a weird one because she was very young as compared to who her character was. Charlie, can you tell us a little bit about Sophia, the character?
Sophia, Sicily. She was a character, yes, Sicily. She had all the best one-liners, and she certainly had no hesitation to express commentary on the other girls' lives and their choices. Never slow to an insult. Her barbs and kind of quick quips were legendary. So and her relationship, of course, with her daughter Dorothy was one of the highlights of the show. But she was always a scene stealer. Whatever was happening, she'd have some kind of little comment or one liner, and it would just steal the show. But little wisecracking firecracker of a Sicilian lady.
Was actually younger than her daughter, and like actress age.
Yeah, she was younger than both B. Arthur and Betty White.
Yeah, serious makeup like each episode.
Wild. All right, so my Sophia. So I did something kind of intentional here. It'll make sense as we go. My Sophia, I'm picking Joan Cusack. Okay, I think she could play kind of the quirky older lady. A lot of like Joan Cusack has a lot of like the background comedy and things like that, and I think she's really good at like the physical comedy with like crunching up her face and making like those kind of weird faces as she's doing stuff. And so I just
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
And you'll see where I'm going because there is kind of another part of it. But yeah, so I was like, Joan Cusack. Sure. No, she does not look as old as Sophia, certainly.
Makeup.
Yeah, you have makeup. I think it'd be a good old time. But I thought she would be fun.
Yeah. I hope your Dorothy is John Cusack.
Now we're talking. I always thought it would be great to pair them together in a rom-com, but they're like the couple that gets broken up, and they are almost always kissing in a scene, but it always gets interrupted by something, and so the audience is like on like that cringy pin and needle as their lips get closer to one another, and then something happens to snap up the scene, and then of course they end up with other people. But my script got rejected.
Oh, wonder why. All right, so there
you go. Called Brothers and Sisters. What do you want from me?
There's my Sophia. Tudong?
My Sophia she is a bit more of a wild card. I was looking at the ladies who were this age, 62, and I came across one that I had seen watching different kinds of soaps with the wife. And my pick is Victoria Rufo. I have seen her a bit in I didn't get the name on there. I could have sworn I got the name on there. I'm sorry about that, bro.
That's all right.
I'd like to see her. The thing that I think is really interesting is the fact that both B. Arthur, who played Dorothy, and Estelle Getty, who played Sophia, both of them are playing Italians, and both of them are not Italian at all. Actually, they're Jewish. They actually continually were like, can we switch to being Jewish? Because we're not Italian, we're Jewish. And they were like, no, for some reason. So I was like, they're going to have to play Italian because you can't have a Dorothy without saying, picture it, Sicily, and then the year, whatever it is. And now I have seen Victoria Rufo in an English-speaking role, but I really think she could walk away with this kind of a thing. I've liked her, her delivery with different things than when I've seen her in different stuff. I haven't seen her in anything like all the way through, just kind of in passing, but each time I'm like, I like this person. So when she came up, I'd love to see her playing like Sophia, like from Sicily, telling these kinds of stories and definitely giving the business to the rest of the girls.
Yeah, she gives the business.
Give them the business.
I'm not familiar with her.
I don't think if she has done an English speaking project, I have not seen it, but I'd love to see her do that because she seems like her kind of chemistry with the other people on the list. Hopefully, it would work out. I'm not a casting agent,
but I do play one on TV.
She would be pretty fun. She would be a fun addition, and I'd love to see her kind of try that kind of a thing. She'd have to play much older, but so would all these women actually.
It's a good pick, D. I like the way that your list is shaping up, and look. I went for a little bit more 1-for-1 here, and nice. I just got done saying I wanted some big names, and then probably everyone's reaction to this next person's going to be who. So turn y'all into a bunch of owls here in a second, but but if you are familiar with her work on SNL, then you'll know she played a character who was very much in the mold if you will. Is that the right term here?
Good term.
Of Sophia. She's very much like in the an homage.
Is it Dana Carvey?
It is not Dana Carvey. That is a terrible guess. It is
I thought the
Sherry
church lady.
Sherry O'Terry is the pick. And she played Rita Del Vecchio. Get away from my screen door over here. Forget about it. She is, the daughter of 2 Italian immigrants. She is in an upcoming film called Old Fellas. Old Fellas.
Wow.
Which is an old mobster shoved into a retirement community where he forms a new crew to save his grandson from a Gen Z gang with Joe Pantoliano.
Joe Pantoliano.
Andrew Dice Clay is in it. This is going to be a fantastic movie. Her name's going to be Hot. It's going to be hot.
Is it really her name is going to be Hot?
No, her name is Bonnie. Sherry O'Terry's name is going to be Hot. It's going to be cooking in the Hollywood scene once Old Fellas comes out, and they'll be like, "Oh, she's great. She's playing an old Italian lady. You know what she'd be great as an old Italian lady. We already got the wig. We just dyed gray. We put on her head. Forget about it. A couple big glasses, and she's over there insulting everybody. Forget about it." She's got the chops. She's already done the role. If you want to, they're not particularly funny, but if you want to watch they're all right. The Rita Del Vecchio skits. Old SNL sometimes are windows in time, and if you have the nostalgia for them, they're great. And if not, then sometimes they're a little. All right.
She also played in the satire movie Scary Movie. She played the satirical the girl from Friends the Gale Weathers part. She satired that in Scary Movie. She was really funny in that too.
She's funny. She's a very funny actress. She was great on SNL, and her cheerleading skits with Will Ferrell were always a highlight of my youth, where they did the cheer.
I remember those. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Moving.
Estelle Getty, by the way. Estelle Getty. She's fantastic.
Estelle Getty is fantastic.
Now we have Dorothy at 63 years old. Charlie, tell us a little bit about Dorothy.
Dorothy. Dorothy was a little more sarcastic and down to earth gal. A little bit more introverted, reserved. A little bit more
hostile.
I don't know what. Yeah. I was trying to think of a nicer way to say it, but sure, yeah. Combative. I don't know.
I look back.
She was
both the author and Dorothy hostile. I went back and watched some clips. They are hilarious, and I'm like, wow.
Maybe we could call it no nonsense. That's like isn't that like the
that's the B. Arthur's type right there? Yeah, no nonsense.
Like intimidating, but yeah, she was great, man. B. Arthur is a national treasure. Yeah.
All right. So for my Dorothy, 63 years old, I'm just going to go right to it. I went with Ann Cusack, who is 1 year, or maybe like date wise, they're back to back years. Than her younger sister. So we've got the younger sister playing the mom. Anne has some comedy kind of in her background, from like the League of Her Own days. She's also done some more serious stuff with like Boys and Better Call Saul and things like that. Oh.
Pretty sure.
and so I think just having that like older
That's
sister,
cool.
younger sister, dynamic, kind of being able to feed off of that as one plan. Like, okay, all right, we've got one who's actually younger, but then we have that family dynamic. That's who I went with.
Nice, bro.
So we got Ann Cusack and Joan Cusack. I was
it
worried.
Only would have been better if you had John Cusack. That's the only way it would have been better.
I know.
You can play the love interest on one episode. We can still make it happen. And the mom's like, I don't know about this guy. I have something about him. No, I don't like it.
I was a little bit worried. I was like, I wonder if anybody else is going to do this. Because as I'm looking through the names, I'm like, okay, it just lines up really well that Ann Cusack and Joan Cusack are like different.
That's really cool.
The 1 year apart.
That's a good pull.
All right. Tudong, you're Dorothy.
My Dorothy had to be tall, no nonsense, and of course, very funny. Mine is Jane Lynch. Recently from Glee, she is tall, she is scary, and her
Recently?
hair is absolutely no nonsense. Could she pull off these witty and harsh zingers that Dorothy would do? Absolutely. I think if anybody was going to have to fill B. Arthur's shoes, it would be Jane Lynch. It's like, how did I mean, I typed it in there. I don't get it, bro. To put it right there. Anyways, the point is, I think that Jane Lynch would make a fantastic Dorothy. I don't know if she's Jewish, but if she was, then hey, she's still playing. I guess a descendant from Sicily. Her stuff when she was doing the Christopher Guest movies, like she was in A Mighty Wind, right? I know she was in like getting all these Best in Show. She was in Best in Show, but the thing that really got me with her would be Glee, because she was rather the heavy, and this would be, if she's not playing the heavy in Golden Girls, she's pretty close.
She's fantastic. She's great, and I did think about her, except that when I looked her up and saw that her birthday was in 1960.
What?
And not 1962.
What? She's not the right age? I didn't get it?
She's not the right age. So I said I'm not gonna cheat and put her in my list. But I hey, bold
apparently
on you.
I did not do the math.
Hey, get your girl.
Hey, this isn't about math, people. This is about entertainment. We're gonna fudge some years. That's fine.
Can she play younger? Heck yeah, she can.
Can she play younger?
She is fantastic. In Only Murders in the Building, she plays Steve Martin's body double from the TV show that the actor.
Like, yes, she does.
She's fantastic in that. So she's like Steve Martin from behind, and she'll turn around and say, "Hi, it's me." It's really funny. She's a fantastic actress. So if we ever get to talk about Jane Lynch, regardless of circumstances, it's a win.
Now I don't know if my Rose is the right age either. Now that I think about it, I'm like, all of these ages are probably off. But see, that's the point. It's not about math.
It just depends on when you pulled it, like based on the birthdays and kind of birthdays with mine. I just went off like year. So
this was like 2 years off, and I said, "Hey, they have to be this age." I typed it in.
It was just 1 year. You're 1 year off because it's 61. It should have been, but it's all right. No big deal. So my actress, I said I needed a headlining big name comedic tour de force to lead the cast in one of the most critical, pivotal roles that you could possibly have on television. There is only one B. Arthur, and there is only one Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she is going to be my Dorothy. And just she's just spectacular and hilarious and a sitcom pro. No one delivers a line. Is she too short to play the role? Look, people, if Tom Cruise can be tall in movies, so can Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And actually, and in fairness, B. Arthur hated the jokes about height and her deeper voice. She hated all that. And the writers just said, we'll keep putting it in the show anyway. So get it out of there, and let's get Julia Louis-Dreyfus in there. I found some pictures of her with gray hair, and I was like, I should put these on there because she looks even more like the part. Unfortunately, they're from like a battle that she had with cancer, so I was like, yeah, it's in bad taste.
Wow.
She did, but that was years ago, so she's through the woods and ready to star and anchor a golden. She's like, this MCU stuff, it's nonsense. It's shenanigans. This is small potatoes. I'm leaving this behind for the greener pastures of a Golden Girls television show.
Yeah,
and she's gonna be my headliner here, Dorothy.
63. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is 63 years old. I am having trouble like processing that. Even just seeing like B. Arthur down in the corner and Julia Louis-Dreyfus being like roughly the same age. I'm like, no way.
Yeah,
crazy.
Great.
I believe it.
That's my Veep. We don't talk Veep on the show. Veep was fantastic.
Haven't seen it.
Sorry.
All right. Lastly, we have Rose, 63 years old.
I checked the dates. This next one is accurate.
Good old Betty White, just lost
great.
just a few years ago.
She was the oldest Golden Girl. She passed away last. That is. But she also, she was in Community. She's been in all sorts of things, and every one of them, she makes it better.
Oh yeah. All right, so I wanted. Oh, Charlie, can you tell us a little bit about the Rose character?
Rose is sweet, and we're gonna use nice words here at TTP. She, maybe a little naive, maybe a little sweet, maybe a little gullible, maybe a little afraid or paranoid at night of sounds and things. But my goodness, she could spin a yarn and tell you a story about herring or whatever it may be from her old town, and she'd have these like long nonsensical monologues. There was just a tremendous comedic actress, Betty White, and she was just an absolute scene stealer in that show. She was fantastic in everything she did. But this is good.
I've got to say, I forgot to say this about when it came to Blanche. It seems nowadays like Blanche, Rue McClanahan, Betty White as Rose. That seems almost like typecasting. The funny thing is, they actually had to switch parts because Betty White was going to play Blanche, and
really?
Rue McClanahan was going to play Rose, and B. Arthur was like, "I've seen them do this. It's nothing." So they switched, and then she's like, "That's different enough. All right, I guess I'll do this show." And now they both were typecast as the others. Like they had both played previously characters that were like the other characters, and they were typecast. And now they got typecast as they are now, which I think is hilarious.
Interesting.
That's funny.
All right, so my Rose, I just wanted to find somebody that just seems so nice and sweet. So as I was looking through, I was trying to kind of match up with that. And I wound up with Bonnie Hunt. So she was like the mom and Jumanji and the mom and Cheaper by the Dozen. And she's done she's like so many like Pixar voices. She just seems like such a nice lady. And so I was kind of like, sure, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. So that's what I went with. Aside from,
that's good.
She's been more like especially the past couple of years, she's really done like a lot of the voice actor stuff. But we can bring her out of that into
she was great in Jerry Maguire.
Into a sitcom. Yeah, she'd be great.
So. Yeah, she had like a real strong run of being best friend. Like
the sister.
I just watched Only You for the first time. Sister, best friend.
Yeah, because she just seems nice. She's just got a really nice, like, friendly,
easy to like
about her.
Mm-hmm.
At least that she puts off. I don't know. I've met her.
She's a monster.
Maybe, but she plays like a really nice person really well. So that's why I went with.
That's all that matters.
Why the math doesn't matter.
All right,
got a math.
Good choice. My pick, she actually acted alongside Betty White. My pick for Rose is Jane Levy's from Frasier and many other. She did some voice work. It wasn't. Was James the Giant Peach? It was James the Giant Peach. But you're gonna have I mean, Rose is very similar to her character in Frasier, and she was really fantastic. It would just be just to take out a little bit of the, I don't know, not cynicism, but she was always very optimistic, always very nice, always, she always was talking about, she had stories when she from back home and all that kind of stuff. I would love to see her tackle this kind of a character in the Golden Girls, because she, A, has not been in enough lately or whenever. And B, I mean, like I said, I not put the name in again. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't do any of that correctly. And I took enough time on it too.
Actress.
But the point is, I think she would be a fantastic Rose, and I think it's very funny that she was on I think it was Hot in Cleveland with Betty White.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Not a bad show.
Yeah.
Pretty good show.
Wendy Malick as well, who was also in Frasier.
Yeah, she's great. Unfortunately, too old for this.
Yeah, I was hoping I could get some Wendy Malick in there, but
yeah, she would have been fantastic. My goodness. Jane Lee's was on my list for like a long time.
No crossover.
I was actually thinking of her as Dorothy just because she's tall, and I was like, all right. But I was like, and then because I had a Rose that I liked, and so I was like, but then I was like, do I have to find a mom who's like British? And then it's like, are we just changing the Italian angle? I'm not from Sicily. I'm from the Queen's England. And then I was like, I don't see any other British actors. And then I gave up. Forget it. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, you're getting the call. Jane was busy.
Right,
who's your Rose?
Who's your Rose?
So, all right, I wanted to think of someone who had that naive kind of, could monologue without making a lot of sense, could do it in a way that just find her effortlessly likable. Someone who had some good improv experience, chops with comedy, and a name that people would go like, you know what? You son of a bitch, I'm in. Right there. And so for me, that's one Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh yeah.
I thought
that's
like
good.
That's to be able to sit there and to kind of I watched like a compilation of monologues of her. It's just like, yeah, can she still do it? And she's like, oh yeah, she's got the great chops. She was very great. She was very funny in all the mockumentaries that she got to do with the the aforementioned Christopher Guest stuff. She's had a little bit of a career renaissance with the HBO show that I can't think of right now.
White Lotus?
White Lotus?
The White Lotus.
Lotus.
There it is. My goodness. Yeah, sorry.
White Lotus.
The white. I mean, it kind of is about White Locusts in essence, but the White Lotus. And so she's got a little bit of a career renaissance going on right now. So she doesn't exactly need the work, but she's coming up. She's in the Minecraft movie that's upcoming. She's come on now, 2025. The malevolent Ender Dragon sets out on a path of destruction, prompting a young girl and her unlikely adventurers to set out to save the overworld. Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Jennifer Coolidge, Kate McKinnon. Come on. All right. Anyway, who knows? Could be great. They're all gonna be blocks. It just seemed like a great pairing, and I think she could do a heck of a job carrying the torch that Betty White so brightly and beautifully lit. So there you go.
This one.
That's a great.
I thought about.
I thought about Bonnie Hunt. There's some great Catherine Hahn. I thought about quite a bit for Blanche. There's some great actresses that I was surprised at how many choices I found myself being attracted to. Michelle Yeoh. I mean, it's just great actresses. I'm like, oh man, it's like for the constraints that we kind of put on ourselves needlessly. It was like that's some good freaking Jodie Foster. I thought someone would pick Jodie Foster.
I thought about Jodie Foster.
I thought it too.
Ali Sheedy. There was some heavy hitters, man. Meg Ryan. I almost put Meg Ryan in this role because I thought thinking about like the Days of the Week underpants speech she gives in like when Harry Met Sally, and she's like, and he was very suspicious about the Days of the Week underpants because they didn't make Sunday because of God. And it kind of reminds me of like a Betty White speech about some nonsensical thing. But that was Coolidge.
I'm surprised that we had no crossover because as I was looking through the list, I was like, there's no way that we're not going to have a crossover. Like the list isn't that expansive.
Yeah.
I should have known that my math was off, and that's how I would not have gotten any crossover.
That's true.
I see fishing in a different pond over there.
All right. Well, this was fun.
We need to talk Golden Girls more.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of exposure. I watched it a little bit as a kid, but not this one. I struggle a little bit with this one because I was like,
for anybody who's been a long time watcher, that Brody doesn't watch television, so
baloney.
I feel like it kind of goes without saying that this wasn't something I had a lot of exposure to. if you're in the mood to just kind of go down some rabbit trails, you can go on IMDb and look at the foreign adaptations of Golden Girls, because there was like I think a Norwegian one, as well as one that was set in Israel. There was even a Golden Girls reimagined that I can't find any information on that it exists, but it was like a talk show with like Regina King and some other people, Alfred Woodward and some other. It's like, but I don't know how that works, because it's like it's like playing Self, but then it has like the character named Dorothy, and then it says like Self Blanche, and then it's not like on their individual IMDb pages. It's like just something that exists under Golden Girls. If you look up. So I have no idea what like someone just thought that was a good idea and then typed it somehow in there, and so it exists on IMDb. But anyway, that could be fun. I would love to see I would love to see something with Regina King in it leading the way. That'd be great.
And Alfred Woodward, I miss her.
She's great. My goodness. But yeah, who knows what's going on with it with any of that. And if you're in the mood to just be sad, you can scroll through the Golden Girls episode list, because you won't find someone who's still living until you get to people that appeared in the episode 4 times or less. So it's a long, sad list. Man. So you're welcome.
They were all old.
85. Yeah. That's a long time ago now. My goodness.
That's a long time ago.
Come on, like a 30-year anniversary, just in time to reboot the show. Let's do it.
Yeah.
85?
85 is when it debuted, yeah.
Yeah, the next year that 30 years, bro.
It ran 85 to 92.
We would be
and then they were trying to do like spin-offs with it and stuff.
Coming up on
40. Is it 40?
Bro, we told you that math is not.
I was told there'd be no math
here.
I got it in my ear from the producer that it was 30, so I apologize. Our producer Fred sometimes gets some of these numbers wrong. Feeds us the wrong info.
He'll be punished later.
Red.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, go ahead and close us out.
All right. Well, look, let us know if you have any old TV shows that you'd like to see us try to recast, because this was kind of a fun exercise to do together. And so if you have some favorites, maybe I know Dylan's always talking Newhart on the show, whatever it may be. Anything that gets Brody talking TV is a good thing. So let us know. It doesn't matter how obscure it is. Make it the most weirdest, oldest, most obscure TV shows you can find. We're recasting it. We're going to find it for you. It'll be fantastic. And let us know your choices for your Golden Girls. So we'll see you next time from the Golden Boys.
Bye.